Hello, my name is Rob. Got a 2002 Honda CRV. What happened was it got diesel put in it at 4 or 5 gallons. It was a quarter tank and filled it to half. They drove it home. It was still running, but we thought the battery was well, the battery was old, so we were going to change that. And that's when I found out that some diesel was put in here. So I looked high and low. There's no drain plug on this tank that I could find. I'm not saying you can't go down there and where the fuel lines are, but the fuel pump is right here. So the issue with the fuel pump, which is here, is nice. You can unconnect that hose. There's plenty of videos on it, but there's 3 screws, 3 Phillips screws that are pretty simple. Pull this thing, gently pry it off because it's aluminum. And then there's a plug that you have to pinch. You have to pinch that, and it pulls out of that socket. And then I kind of looked online to trying to find out how to jumper this pump. You know, people talk about the the fuel pump relay, because if you turn the key on, it only runs for 3 seconds and shuts off if you don't start the car. So I went ahead and found out there's a yellow green wire and a black wire in here, and they happen to be the 2 bottoms. So I rigged up some alligator clamps in there, the red being the hot, ran it out to my battery charger, hooked it up, and it is pumping the red diesel, nonetheless off-road diesel, out of the car. The fuel line, you have a rag in there, you capture, you don't want no fumes going on. I mean, this is diesel, it's harder, it's not like gasoline, but there is gas. It's a mixture of diesel and gas. So I'm gonna drain it all out. I got a couple tanks here. Then I'm gonna drain it all out till the pump stops. Well, you can hear it running dry, and then I'm gonna put good gas in it, and then I'm gonna do it again because there's probably a little at the bottom that the pump won't reach. So I'll mix it up, and by pouring more, this is just ready to keep going if that fills up. But so I'll fill up some regular gas in it, turn the pump back on. I might do that a couple times because you want to make sure. I hope it's when it's so diluted. Obviously it ran home, but I hear the diesel's heavier. It sits at the bottom of the tank. But at any rate, you want to flush it basically, and then I'm going to fill it up with some good gas, and hopefully we're good. You know, at least I know where this fuel pump is if we ever have to do it. I was going to take the fuel pump out and put the siphon hose in there, but there's a seal in there that you got to replace, which I can't get a hold of. It's on a weekend here, Saturday, so that's kind of, and I use some alligator clips, small, because there's not a lot of, if you look in there, I don't know if you can even focus, but there's little tiny tabs that go into this, and it's the 2 bottom, so you got to run power to the pump. But it's probably got 3 gallons there now. It's running. It's still pretty red. Okay, well, so that's what I got going. I took this loose here too so it can breathe easier. You can hear it sucking. Anyway, so like I said, this is a do-it-yourself. I assume no responsibilities in something like this, of course, and I know people do this and put stuff on all the time, but there's no drain plug on the bottom of the tank, and you cannot siphon gas out of that. There's something at the very base before it hits the tank. I tried many different hoses, thin hose, 1/4 inch. I could not do it, and plus the chances of getting to the very bottom of the tank are pretty slim. So this really is one of the better ways. It might be safer if you can go up, look online, and there's a video on behind the glove box where you can, I think, jumper across to the fuel pump and run it from there and leave all this hooked up, or the electrics hooked up. Because anytime you have electrical and gas, it's not a good mixture. So chance for spark. I have a hose and everything ready to go, but should have a fire extinguisher and all. All right. Well, that's a dreary day in Northern California. Have a good day.